What's up guys, this is ScherBR talking, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, let's talk about news for months in SaGa UniverSe. And this got me surprised, it just announced double banners for Halloween. Wait, Halloween? Yeah, because they are saying they want to get closer to JP's schedule, they will be releasing banners out of order, and that's what we're gonna get. So, we have this first banner that is human male, human female, and creator. We already have the information about this banner, we'll be talking about it in a few. And the other banner is about the Spell Girl, then Arsenal, and Apollo. Well, this one we don't have information yet, we'll be talking about that in a different day. Then we have the new event called Creepy Haunted Show. This has only 10 higher HP cap than Story right now, so it's not a big difference. But we also be able to get this new version of Sensei that's more for collection than anything, alongside, well, promotion scrolls and everything else. Now, let's go back to this banner that we already have the information, and of course, we'll be going to Reddit because of a post by Hands43. Thank you so much for doing this amazing job, as always. Well, Human Male is a tank for guns, and he is a very, very good one. You can see that he has 110% endurance. His will was bad, now it's buffed to 100%, so he starts with a very good volume. His agility is 99%, very good as well, and dexterity 111. You can see that the stats that he wants to have are all high. This character here has a counter mechanic. When he gets directly attacked, he will reduce damage by, I think, 35% and counter with Kenji Bazooka Shoot. This is a single target attack that can hit between 1 to 3 times. This can be used for very nice damage. It's just blunt. And also when he receives an indirect attack, he triggers a defense up, decreasing damage taken by 10% for the whole fight, can stack up to 5 times. So that's nice, something that he gets to decrease damage taken. Because he didn't have anything. Yes, this is a tank without a damage reduction passive because he actually has something else. Second passive, he will buff endurance, dexterity, and will when he gets attacked. Any type of attack, just like Polka and Liz, Robin version. 20% buff to all those 3 status are actually very close to what you get with Strumniken. But Strumniken buffs his STR, because that's his main status. So, depending on the situations, you can stack endurance and will so much that you will hardly be taking any damage. And your dexterity will increase too, so the counter will do more damage. Not just that, he also has very good skills to use. Then we have the third passive called High Counter Tension. Well, you get from JP it says 20% damage at all times, then 30% on counter, and he starts the fight on 11 DP. But he does not need that anymore because they changed the cost of his skill number 3. But skill number 1 is just Quick Draw. This is a fast attack with very weak damage, but depending on how many buffs he got, the damage will be good. Second skill, it's a 7 BP single target attack that hits 3 times with E power, but this equals triple S power easily, so you're getting good damage for the cost. Then the third skill, it hits between 3 to 5 times with increased power, so you get at least triple S power damage, and you can get 4S power damage with a cheap cost actually. So depending on the number of buffs on overdrive, it may be better to just use this one and try to get even higher damage. So he does not get PP easily, so you are just using Quick Draw on the start of the fight and then choosing the stronger skills when you get many buffs or on overdrive. That's his main gameplay, but he wants to use something else most of the time. You know what? Great Adventure from his Platinum style. That will give him 3 stacks of defense boost and taunt 3 times. That will increase his chance of being attacked. So you will not be using these skills more often, just on overdrive and when you are killing the enemy, because Great Adventure is already 3 hits, so you are using that most of the time. It's from a Platinum style, so very easy to get this character on max potential. The next one is Human Female, and she has 110% STR, 120% agility, those are her main status. She has a very low endurance that should have been fixed in global, but they didn't want to. They gave her even more will. That's nice because will is more important anyway, so that you don't get inflicted with ailments. Okay, for the first passive we have 3P on start of the fight, and when she receives a direct attack, she has a 37% chance to evade that attack and counter with Cat's Claw. Cat's Claw is a skill that recovers 3 BP, so you can get lots of BP just by evading, but if you get hit with direct attacks, it may hurt. The second one, when she attacks weak targets, she gets 15% increase in damage, and she also recovers 2 BP when attacking weak targets. So she gets 5 BP per turn on the right situations, and she is a slash and blunt attacker, so you have at least 2 elements to attack. The third one, Intrinsic Emarts 4. She gets 20% damage increase at all times, then reduces damage taken by 40% from resist attacks, and also has 37% chance to evade resist attacks. Well, okay, I guess. For martial arts we don't have many characters with Intrinsic, but it's still not the best type of passive depending on the situations if the enemy has way too many elements. Skill number 1 is a free skill that deals blunt and slash damage and has a 50% chance to follow up with Cat's Claw. Again, this is the skill that gives her 3 BP. So, you use this on the start of a fight to just get some BP and then you start to nuke. Or to offer support. If you want support, skill number 2 is a fully UniverSe power attack that grants guard down to the enemy. This does not stack, it's only for 1 turn, but the skill itself is fast. That will increase the overall damage of your party in that specific turn for around 5%. But before she even attacks, she buffs the agility for all surviving allies, including herself, by 25% on max level. You could say that her damage will be closer to B power just because of this buff, and it's nice because she gets 5 BP when attacking weak targets, right? But this skill itself is only blunt, so the enemy has to be weak to blunt for you to get 5 BP in that turn. That won't happen so often. But on Remembrance, the enemy will always be weak, so you can use this as much as you want, and you can pair her up with the second Summer Liza and use agility buffs all the time, and then you will barely have any problem on Remembrance if you are always evading. Then the skill number 3 is a nuke. And you can just save BP to use this nuke because it's a 4S attack that costs 13 BP and it's blunt and slash. She can only use this 5 times in battle because before she attacks, she grants herself a heat up that will increase her damage potential by 20% for the whole fight. This is one of the strongest 4S attack when you consider that it also has a heat up, but it can only be used 5 times. It should be more than enough in most situations. So, if you are using her with some BP batteries as well to increase the BP gains, she will do very good damage, very fast. But either way, you can just rely on her counter to just get even more BP and keep the cycle of skill 1 and skill 3. Next character is Creator, and they buffed his endurance and will to good status for boss fights, and his agility a little, intelligence breaking a new cap, 122% the highest in the game right now. Well, he has lots of passives. First one, when he attacks and the attack lands, he recovers 1 BP. Then he has a 50% chance to chase with a skill that right now is just double S power, row, and blunt. It may be changed for more elements, I hope it is. Then another 50% chance to chase with a different attack that is column this time and blunt. So, even normal attacks will be able to trigger this condition, and every time that he chases, he gets another BP. So, it's a character that will get, on average, 4 BP per turn, since he has 2 chases of 50% chance. Also, when he's attacking, he will increase the intelligence of all surviving allies. I believe it's for 15%, I just confirmed it. So, depending on how many chases he gets, he's gonna buff intelligence by a lot. If you have the newest version of Blue as well, you can just buff so much to increase the damage of mage teams to do a lot. He also now grants himself a defense boost that will just decrease damage taken by 25%, lasts for 2 turns. That means that on average he has at least 2 stacks of this to survive well, because he didn't have any damage reduction passive. He was not made for boss fights. He was more of a farmer that had a very low utility. And then we have fired up 7, increasing damage potential by 40% at all times. He's not a real nuker when you look on the skills. The first one is an E power attack with Sun and Heat for AoE. Well, whatever. The second one is a B power attack. This time it's Cold and Sun, and it grants Sandra for 2 turns to the target when you attack. Remember that the latest version of Matcha also has this, and it stacks. You can just use both now and then add like 4 stacks of Sundered in a boss fight. Yeah, it will only last for 1 turn, but it will be very crazy because this applies defense down. I don't know when it stops stacking, but the damage will increase by a lot. Then the third skill is, this time, Hidden Lightning and grants Frightened for 2 turns. We don't know the effect of this and I am confused. Because the first one is defense down, imagine if this is attack down. Attack down cannot be removed and it just decreases the damage that the boss can do. So if you could just keep Frightening and use it multiple times because you have characters with multiple hits, imagine how much damage you could reduce. If that's the case, we will know about this only when we receive the data download, and I will have to make a review only when we have this information because this can be game changing. But so far we don't know, we will have to estimate only. Well, I have to say something about this banner. It's a very good banner because these characters are good, but none of them are must-haves, I have to say. Human Male is very good because of this status that will just stack. If you have the Great Adventure skill, you just use him easily. He just doesn't self-heal. He does not heal the party like Mask. He's more of an offensive version of that character. And for Gun, we just now have a tank for Remembrance too, if you want. And he will be receiving a triple S grade because of the utility, but again, not a mandatory character. Human Female is nice and all because of her buffs to the party now. Without it, she was not that good. She will probably receive an SS Plus grade. Good character, but just not a really strong farmer, and, well, will work, but also relies a little on RNG and on hitting weak targets. And the last one, Creator, is a character that became good now because he can reduce damage taken on boss fights, can get a lot of VP, buff intelligence, and in the end, if Frightening is good, he will be a very interesting character. But more about that in the future. He's the only character that I will not be giving grade because it depends on something that we don't know. With all that said, this is my opinion. What is yours? Please see here in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye.